Hey guys, it's Mr. Siegel here. I'm back in my classroom for a little bit. Going to get some videos and things done for you. And I thought I'd take a moment to go over some of the things you see in my room. For example, right over the whiteboard in the front of our classroom, of course, and for those of you who've been here, you may recognize these things. I have these colored symbols that represent, various music concepts. And I thought it'd be good for us to go over some of them in the next couple of months. They're always relevant. But in this case, I just thought I'd scan across them for a minute. They're in no particular special order. So you see on the far left-hand side of my classroom, polyrhythm, beat or pulse, rhythm, tempo, dynamics, pitch, note, scale. You see harmony, chord, melody, form, phrase, improvisation, ostinato, syncopation, tone painting, dissonance, consonance, and style. Now, you might be saying, well, Mr. Siegel, that's a whole lot of stuff to cover. Well, those are all relevant things in the world of music, and some of them we deal with all the time. We don't really think about it. When you're singing a piece of music, you're singing in rhythm. You might be singing a melody or a harmony. Hopefully you're singing accurate pitches. So the idea is not so much to extrapolate these out and complicate them, but rather to make these concepts known to you and familiar to you. So you're doing some real sophisticated stuff, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Sophisticated doesn't necessarily mean it's complex. It simply means there are a lot of parts and a lot of components that go into making music, whether it's vocal music or instrumental music. Okay? With that in mind, let's take a look at something really, really simple, our music staff. Just to review, the music staff is the way we represent pitched sounds. Pitched meaning a consistent frequency of vibration, and of course the sound is something we hear. So we have consistent pitches, okay, or a note, we call them notes. Of course, the reason we call them notes is that, let me grab my pen, when we write a music note on the staff, we now say that that music note represents what we have assigned in terms of the pitch or pitch value to that first note of the staff. Now, most of you probably recall that the lines of the staff are the pitches E, G, B, D, and F. So that music symbol represents the note E. That tells us what pitch to sing. Makes sense. And then if I give it a musical value, a rhythmic value, and instead of just making it a circle, which would be a whole note worth 4 beats, maybe I want to make it a half note. Sounds good. Now, I've given you the pitch and the rhythmic value. Remember, I said these can be kind of sophisticated things, but they don't have to be complicated. So I'm using a symbolic language. That symbolic language is simply notation. And notation, we use the term note, it's kind of a shorthand for notation. That symbol, the circle and the line, represents a rhythmic value. The place I put it on the staff represents a pitch value. I now know pitch and rhythm for that note. If I sing that note, of course I want to sing that particular note, which would be an E. I don't know what that pitch is right now off the head. I'm not going to try to sing it. But if I go to a musical instrument, I can play the note E on a musical instrument. So now I know what that pitch sounds like. It's a certain frequency of vibration, and it's very consistent. E always sounds like E. And of course, there are other E's. We'll get into how this is a high E, and this down here in the bass clef is a low E. We'll get there, one step at a time.